So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Petri Kahila. I come from the University of Eastern Finland, Karelian Institute. I work there as a director of the institute. And I would like to act that we are indeed the service provider, but we are actually divided the coordination. We have a scientific coordinator also from Hutton Institute. So in that way we are organized. So couple of words about ESCAPE and the big picture. We have divided actually the approach there to simple shrinking and to the complex shrinking. If we think about the simple shrinking, it's normally a region losing a significant proportion of its population because of the outmigration and the natural decrease of population. Naturally, it's relatively easily can be measured in a matter of population numbers, indicating basically just actually only one side of the coin in the shrinking process. So the components of the simple shrinkage, outmigration and natural decrease of a population, and the data on the future projections of population or of other demographic measures are scarcely available actually at low levels. And that's why also we need experiments to identify potential indicators for simple shrinkage, how they are identified. One potential indicator related to these aspects could be, for instance, a number of decades with population shrinkage. Then you get already a sort of a little bit longer term picture at low units. In this case, these periods are summed up, for instance, where a certain or any amount of population decrease is experienced. Then also a more suitable proxy for identifying that trend I was describing here might be created actually by reckoning only a number of consecutive decades with population decrease. Then we get again a little bit more multifaceted picture of the simple shrinking. And regarding the temporal aspects, besides we can say the duration of a population loss, another potential measure for simple shrinkage might be gained through also the identification of the starting point of the shrinking. So when the shrinking has really actually started in a particular region. When we come to the complex shrinking, it's normally then we discuss about the region that is a simultaneously demographic and economic process, the shrinking. It's not only a population decrease. And the complex shrinking, we can say that it relates actually to the numbers of associated issues like level of economic activity and employment, sectoral structure, productivity, innovation, social capital, etc. And it opens already the question actually to discover the background of a socio-economic cause and effect processes. So it's actually the other side of the coin. So we have two sides of the coin in the shrinking processes. The outcome tends to show in key regional economic indicators. But we have to underline, however, here also that some of the social or institutional processes involved are not so easily to quantify, as we know, and require more qualitative and narrative approach. That's why in the ESCAPE project we have also 8 case study regions where we have more qualitative approach to the shrinkage. And also we can say that the meaningful policy conclusions and recommendations will also sort of require that the ESCAPE analysis in the project whilst maintaining the clear distinction between the simple and the complex shrinking should nevertheless attempt to disentangle also the recursive socio-economic and territorial processes of the rural decline. And in terms of the both shrinking processes, the key questions are: when territorial assets fall short for a critical mass required for meaningful indigenous development processes, and what are the appropriate methods to underline not only the demographic but also the other political and economic, but also the social and psychological determinants of shrinking. Innovative outcome. Well, we will not basically look only to two sides of the coin. As I said, we will have the narratives and qualitative approach. So we will also look the third side of the coin. We will use the edge as a coin, as a vantage point in our approach. We will make a clear distinction between the mitigation policies and those which accept and adapt to the inevitability of continued shrinking by increasing individual well-being. And we will make this deep dive in shrinking processes in 8 case studies in Germany, Finland, Bulgaria, Hungary, Croatia, Spain, Greece, and in Poland as well. Innovative outcomes was also given here that we have to pay attention to. Well, we will develop potential for innovation in secondary and market service growth sectors because the shrinking process and depopulation is always related very much to the service provision in the rural areas. We will underline the relevance of non-economic driving forces of the shrinking processes and emphasize the relevance of healthy degree of egocentrism as efficient local management, and integrate building a stronger capacity for place-based and indigenous development in Europe's shrinking rural areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.